We are here to talk about the SDG Voices.
Yes.
Anneleen, can you tell me what it stands for?
Yeah, the SDG Voices, they are ambassadors of sustainability. Our SDG Voices, they have incorporated the SDGs in the core of their functioning. It's part of their DNA, so to say.
Yeah.
And for 5 years, we've been selecting SDG Voices, and we have them all over different sectors: retail, film, media, business, NGOs, and so on. And what they do is their projects, their stories, they inspire others to also incorporate the SDGs in their core functioning by showing the opportunities and benefits it creates for them.
It's like creating awareness to the fullest, to the max.
Yeah. Yes.
Great. Hey, in what way do FIDO, Belgium and the United Nations cooperate in this matter?
So then we have to go back to 2015.
Okay.
At the SDG development system, where 193 countries, also Belgium, agreed upon the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, it's 17 SDGs. So that's a roadmap to end global poverty, create a dignified life for everyone, and leave no one behind. So very ambitious. The SDGs, they really translate the most important sustainability challenges into concrete actions. For example, take SDG 2, End Hunger. This goal wants to end hunger by achieving food security and improve nutrition. It motivates countries like Belgium to tackle overweightness or reduce meat consumption.
Yeah, I think an important aspect of the 2030 agenda is also that it ends the old paradigm of developing versus developed countries, because we all have our work to do to reach the 2030 agenda. So FIDO, as the Federal Administration for Sustainable Development, we cooperate within the international processes, but we also integrate the agenda in Belgium. So together with a wide tool, with actors and a wide range of tools, one of those being, of course, the SDG Voices Sensibilization Campaign.
All right, but guys, can I be bold? This pandemic, don't we have more hunger now? How are those plans evolving now? Isn't it like a setback?
It is a setback.
How can we fix this, or what can we do about it?
So the 2030 agenda really revitalized international cooperation for sustainable development. But we are not on track to reach the SDGs by 2030. Before COVID, progress had been spotty. But the pandemic has really halted or even reversed decades of progress.
Yes, I can imagine,
Yes, it's very visible, of course, on the domains of health and well-being, but also education, hunger, poverty. So yes, there's a lot of work to do.
And how can we tackle that? Can we do something?
So these are very difficult questions. Even before the pandemic happened, we were progressing on these goals, but not far enough. And indeed, the pandemic is a setback, but it also creates an opportunity, because the SDGs, they go for system change. And now that we're really at the bottom, it's a very good opportunity to actually change the system.
It's an accelerator.
Yeah, maybe I think it's a bit difficult to be using the word opportunity because of COVID, but if we can enshrine the SDGs in our recovery efforts, which we can build back better, as we say it, so we can reach transformative change, as you mentioned, and that way we can create a decade of action, as requested by the United Nations.
And of course, an organization like We're Smart, that helps too, probably. They play quite a unique role, right?
They do. We see We're Smart as incubators of change. They're really committed to a more sustainable production and consumption of fruit and vegetables in the hospitality sector, companies, and even at home.
What kind of goals do they have for chefs and restaurants?
So I think the efforts of chefs and restaurants, when they work more sustainable, it really affects on a broad system, because the SDGs are interconnected. So one action actually creates a positive domino effect. So chefs and restaurants, they will improve SDG 2, no hunger, SDG 3, better health, SDG 12, sustainable consumption and production, but also things you wouldn't immediately think of, like the improving of biodiversity on land and at sea, because more resilient agriculture and sustainable food systems impact biodiversity in a positive manner.
Yeah. And is there a link with the European Green Deal?
Yeah, I think that's an excellent question, because the European Green Deal, it is the roadmap to make Europe the first carbon-neutral continent by 2050. So this aspect of competitive sustainability is really important to be a driver of change. I think the European Green Deal is also the main strategy by the Commission von der Leyen to contribute to the SDGs. I think the European Green Deal it's a lot of actions, but I want to quickly touch the farm-to-fork strategy. By making our food systems more fair, more healthy, and more environmentally friendly, we can touch all SDGs mentioned in this conversation.
That is great news. And we're going to end there. Thank you so much, Anneleen and Simon, for being here.
Thank you.